Vasudevam Sutam Devam
Tam Devam
Kansachanuramardhanam
Kansachanuramardhanam
Devaki
Devaki
Paramanandam
Paramanandam
Krishnam
Krishnam
Vande
Vande
Jagadguru.
Jagadguru.
Chapitre 14, nous faisons the three modes of material nature. Mais il y a une comme continuation de les autres chapitres qui nous fait faire ça. Parce que dans chaque premier verset là, il dit nous comme ça, again I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge. Il nous a causé ça avant, mais là il peut causer the best of knowledge. Mais qui est best of knowledge là? Là il peut montrer nous que nous, the living entities, we are constituted of the material nature, of the five elements. Nous avons ces five elements là-dedans. Mais quelque chose qui fait living, d'après moi, the knowledge that we are slightly, we have to take into consideration. Without consciousness in ourselves, we are nobody. We die. That element of consciousness must be impregnated. Et ça, nous peut build up, comment nous penser, we are on the spiritual staircase. The end goal is liberation. Mais tout ça là pour montrer nous, the three modes of material nature, how do we fit in the mode of material nature? Parce que the body dies, but the soul is eternal. But how is it that the soul is eternal? The soul is part and parcel of Lord Krishna, and yet we get contaminated. We get conditioned with material nature. La lame qui commence à expliquer nous, il y a nous comme ça qui, sa living entirety là, la soul qui dans nous là, living, comment dire, un genre de Katputli avec sa bonne sensors là, il tombe dans sa maya, the net of maya. La lame qui living condition, là, qui qualité li peut être, il dépend de l'eau, ça un dans sa trois, un ou plusieurs dans sa condition qu'il était là. The conditions, the goodness, passion or ignorance. But there is one which predominate. Là, come to the one that we are concerned with, mode of goodness. Si nous continuons sa trajectoire de mode of goodness, we live in that environment of goodness. This is the road to liberation. Les autres de la passion avec ignorance, ils parfois même nous la liberation. Mais là aussi, il y a une condition qui nous a respecter, condition qui nous a live by. We have to live by these conditions. Et conditions là qui veut dire ça, these are the regulative principles in our scriptures. Then the chance of getting the liberation is higher. Mais les conditions là qu'il a. Et carrément, les dire, but when you're in the mode of passion or in the mode of ignorance, that possibility is denied.
Chapitre 14, c'est principalement, we are talking about the characteristics of the three gunas, namely sattva, sattvic, rajas, and tamas. And chapitre 6, 7, 8, c'est surtout cela qui résume nos buts qui nous permettent vers la perfection, vers la libération. Et dans cette wagune, qui nous trouvons que still we have attachment, but the attachment is towards the good, taking us to happiness, and this is attachment. Happiness and knowledge. And when we reach that state, then we can say that the Atma and the Paratma meet. The action, we have two kinds of actions. The actions that is without expecting any of action. When action is linked to desires, and when our desires are unlimited, this brings to the downfall. So we must have as you say, a ceiling on desires. We must know where is the limit.
Yeah, at the beginning of this chapter, Lord Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Param Bhuyaha Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam. I am imparting to you this Param Jnana, this high level of knowledge, this transcendental knowledge. And having learned this transcendental knowledge, many have attained supreme destination, supreme perfection. Many sages have attained supreme perfection. Then he says, when you have become fixed in this knowledge, and you will attain the transcendental nature like mine. This is very interesting in this. And after having been thus established, you will not be born at the time of creation, and you will not be disturbed at the time of dissolution. Right. I want to say, he further said that the total material substance, what we call Brahman, this is the source of birth. And Lord Krishna impregnates the nature. The nature, it is made the coming of all living entities, of all living beings in the material world, basically on earth, is made possible by birth of all living beings, whereby Lord Krishna, he impregnates material nature and makes that possible. Then he says, Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavanti Yaha Tasang Brahma Mahadionir Aham Bij Pradapita. I am the seed of all living entities. I am the seed-giving Father. Whatever exists, their original Father is Lord Krishna, is Bhagavan, is God. Our original Father is God. Our material Father is whom we know, but our original Father is Lord Krishna. Our original Father is God. Now, then it comes to explain that this material nature consists of three gunas: sattvic gun, rajasic gun, and tamasic gun. Whereby the soul, the Atma, is bound in these three gunas. These three gunas bind the Atma through the body, through the senses. And all the three gunas are inherent in us, but we should know how to manage these gunas. This is the purpose behind this explanation of Lord Krishna. Tatra sarvam nilmavatvat prakasha kamanamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanana. Now, this sixth verse, it explains the nature of a person who is imbibed with sattvic nature, with sattvic qualities. Nirmaladvat. Nirmal, he has purity in him. Prakasha kama, he is illuminating, right? And then he says, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating. It frees one from the six sinful reactions, those situated in that mode become conditioned by such happiness. Although they are good people, they are calm, they are satisfied, they are serene, they are compassionate, they are helpful, and of course, all these qualities, they nurture good health in a person. Yet, it binds us in the material world, because since we feel satisfied with our life, we do not wish to go further up, and this is not this does not help us to get liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Now, chapter 14, text 7 says, Rajo ragatmakam vidhi Krishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. The mode of passion is born of so many desires and so many longings. And because of this, the embodied living entity, he is bound in the material and fruitive actions. And this develops passion, high level of passion, high level of desire, where the soul is entrapped in worldly life, and it is not easy for him to get out of this. But to get out of this, he has to perform karma yoga. Karma yoga is a very effective means to get out of this web. So, the tamasic guna is born of ignorance, negligence, laziness, sleepiness, all this indolence, madness, all these three qualities are inherent in every living entity. Sometimes the sattvic gun is predominant, sometimes the rajasic gun, sometimes the tamasic gun. All go up and down in our life. But at the end of the day, we should aim for Shuddha Tattva. Shuddha Tattva means getting our senses, getting our mind, getting our intellect, gearing all this towards the divine
quality of in human being. I will just give some elaboration of what you have already spoke about, all the aspects of that quality. Still, I have something to add. The way of the rajas is to instill desire and provoke one into undertaking new projects. As a dye colors the white clothes, this guna colors the jivatma red. Trishna or thirst is the strong desire of the mind after things not yet acquired, while sangha or attachment is the act of clinging to the objects already acquired. Rajas engenders greed for sense objects, visible and invisible. As fuel feeds fire, rajas fosters attachment to action. It creates the sense of agency to the jivatma, although his ideal is to get rid himself of that feeling. That's all.
As well, Lord Krishna has explained about his material energy, which is the source of mind and soul, and the material nature which constitutes the three modes of gunas: the sattva, the rajas, and the tamas, respectively. Sattva, the goodness; rajas, the passion; and tamas, ignorance. A combination of the three gunas forms the basis of our character. Thus we saw previously discussed about it in in the other theme that we discussed last month about the divine and the non-divine or demoniacal characters of persons, which are a result of the combination of the different gunas. The sattvic or goodness are endowed with virtues such as peace, morality, well-being, and so forth, while those of the tamasic nature are more of a demoniacal character, gripped by vices such as delusion, laziness, intoxication, and so on. At midway, we have those who are driven by passion, that is a rajasic, who have endless desires and passion. There we could be, if we really think about these three modes of nature, we could say that there could be a fourth dimension there. Those who succeed from detaching themselves from the claws of the three modes of nature, those who can get free from the clutches of the gunas, they are the one who can attain illumination or moksha. And therefore, Arjuna asked Bhagavan Sri Krishna about the nature of those people who thus get liberated. To which Bhagavan replied, I shall once again explain to you, telling to Arjuna, I shall once again explain to you the supreme wisdom and the best of knowledge, by knowing which all the great saints attained the highest perfection. And he went on to say that those who take refuge in this wisdom will be united with me. They will not be reborn at the time of creation, nor destroyed at the time of dissolution. Then he spoke, Bhagavan says, about the total material substance, that's the Prakriti, which is a womb. And that he said, Lord Krishna said, I impregnate it with the individual souls, and thus all living beings are born. O son of Kunti, for all the species of life that are produced, the material nature is the womb. I am the seed-giving Father. And, O mighty armed Arjuna, he proceeds, the material energy consists of three gunas, three modes. Sattvam rajastam iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibandhani mahabaho dehe namapyayam. O mighty Arjuna, the material energy consists of three gunas, sattvic goodness, rajas passion, tamas ignorance. These modes bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. The sattvic guna, the mode of goodness, being the purer than the others, is illuminating and full of well-being, O sinless one. It binds the soul by creating attachment for a sense of happiness and knowledge. Rajagun is of the nature of passion. It arises from worldly desires and affection, and binds the soul through attachment to fruitive actions. Tamogun, which is born of ignorance, is a cause of illusion for the embodied souls. It deludes all living beings through negligence, laziness, and sleep. So these were a description given in 6, 7, and 8 about the three modes of nature. According to what we understand, these three modes of nature are the initiating agents to form our character, so that we end up by being of divine nature, or you can become non-divine qualities we can have. So it is all a question of the three gunas. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Vajapriyam Dharma samsthavakam viram Krishnam vande jagat gurum.